Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is a video channel that's opinion-based, where I bring up topics, true crime stories, things that are taking place throughout our country. And I try to be your eyes and ears when you can't find out the things that are taking place in your cities or throughout your country. We have busy lives, working, raising children, doing the things that we do, and sometimes we have we get a missed opportunity to see what's going on, even some of the craziness. Also, I want to take and thank my supporters that have been supporting my channel. I do have a Cash App at $Trevor Donald 20. That's a Cash App, $Trevor 20. If you want to make a donation or a contribution to keep the channel going, I much appreciate it. So let's get into it. St. Louis has been busy. Last Friday, I told you all about in a video that two 15-year-olds got into a fight at Hazelwood East High School in North St. Louis County, and one of the victims ended up in the hospital because she had her head banged against the concrete in her altercation, in her fight. And the alleged perpetrator, 15 years old, got arrested and is being charged as an adult, while the victim is in a coma in ICU. Then we had 4 days later a teenager that was at Jennings Junior High School who, after school, got stabbed and murdered. And there were 100 people out there, and there's no witnesses, and nobody knows who has done it. So both of these kids got assaulted after school, and one ended up deceased, and the other one ended up in ICU. And just when that wasn't enough, the very next day we had a guy that shot up a Metrobus, got on the bus, and killed two patrons. And this is what this story is about. So it goes like this. Suspect in Metrobus murders felt he was looked at the wrong way before shooting, police said. It goes on that the charges have been filed against a suspect accused of fatally shooting two people on a Metrobus. The shooting happened around 2:45 in the 8400 block of Airport Road. Police said witnesses told officers that someone fired shots into a Metrobus, hitting two people. The victims were taken to a hospital where they both died. The victims were later identified as Jason Jackson Craig, 37, and Jorge Cantor Pinzon, 34. A day after the shooting, Anthony LaRon Frazier was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 4 counts of armed criminal action, and 1 count of robbery, and 1 count of unlawful use of a weapon. According to charges, Frazier, 36, was in a stolen car taken from the city of Bellefontaine neighbors earlier in the day. He reportedly used the car to block off the Metrobus from traveling down Airport Road. Frazier then allegedly got out of the car and fired shots at the bus. He then got onto the bus and fired more shots before exiting and driving off in the stolen car. He had seen the victim earlier and felt like the victim had disrespected him by staring at him the wrong way, said Major K Squad Deputy Commander James Weddington. Frazier confessed to the armed robbery and murders after being arrested, police said. The stolen car was later found in the city of St. Louis. Berkeley Police Chief Art Jackson called the incident a horrendous case. And by the way, for clarity, I know Chief Art Jackson personally. In my 30 years of law enforcement, I've never seen anything like this, he said. This is Frazier's criminal background, was a convicted felon who had several warrants, according to the Major K Squad. He was charged in 2006 with weapons and burglary charges. He later faced similar charges and drug charges in 2017 and served prison time. He was charged with domestic abuse in 2021 and received probation, and faced several charges and warrants in 2023. He was not arrested in any of those 2023 cases. Former prosecutor and defense attorney Christy Flint says Even though Frazier was not in prison at the time of the Metrobus shooting, the system did not fail. Frazier, Frazier, he was convinced did not fail. Frazier, he was convicted of minor felonies, some of which could be related to substance abuse. However, former St. Louis County Police Chief and Councilman Tim Fitz says law enforcement and the courts need to be tougher on those who commit minor crimes. So you have a disagreement between a defense attorney and an ex-police chief. Elgin Ford was driving down the road to get cigarettes when he caught a glimpse of the shooting in Berkeley. He later said he saw victims on stretchers. He said it was crazy. Chris Woods said he frequently hops on the metro. It's nerve-wracking just knowing I commute like this, Woods said. Now he's second-guessing taking the bus in the future. I would want to get a ride before I get on the bus now because nobody wants to get caught in nobody's crossfire. This follows other violent incidents on the Metro Transit. In January, one person was shot and another person was stabbed on a Metrolink train. Last July, a man was shot and killed on the Metrolink train in East St. Louis. A month before, a man was hospitalized after being beaten while stepping off the train in downtown St. Louis. Ford was clearly distraught about a double homicide so close to home. There was even a municipal court judge last year who was wheelchair bound, who was leaving work and getting on the Metrolink downtown, and he was assaulted by someone on the Metrolink, and that made the news. Public transportation and public safety has become a real issue. And he also says this afternoon shots were fired on a Metro bus that was stopped at a bus stop on Airport Road, read a statement from Bi-State Development. Law enforcement immediately responded, and Metro Transit is fully cooperating with the investigation as it is ongoing. This brazen act is yet another example of the violent crime crisis we are seeing in our region. So everybody is concerned about this public safety and the amount of guns that are out on the street, the amount of gun violence that's taking place, the opioid crisis that's taking place, homelessness, and of course, mental illness. And in this case, I believe this gentleman who committed these crimes, Anthony LaRon Frazier, was definitely suffering from mental illness. He had a history of drug abuse, and evidently he has a history of anger issues. He had a domestic violence case against an ex-girlfriend, and he had been convicted of several minor crimes. But how do you define minor versus major? Because if he committed domestic violence and battery against his girlfriend, I don't think that she would consider that to be minor. So there's a philosophical, legal definition gap there. If you're seeing an individual repeatedly getting arrested, whether it's major or minor, they may need to spend some time in jail. Our public safety has become a real issue in many of our major cities. You look at the crime violence in Chicago, in New York, in LA, Philadelphia. It's affecting our tourism. It's affecting our convention events. It is affecting people coming to visit. It's affecting people wanting to move here. Corporate companies wanting to put their headquarters here. Chicago has been decimated by this kind of violence. With 50% commercial vacancies in downtown Chicago Loop, the Magnificent Mile. New York City is being decimated due to bail reform. Illinois has a Safety Act, which is a cashless bond system. These liberal laws where people are committing repeat offenders and committing crimes and getting out, and then eventually committing a murder or some heinous crime, is not leading to a very viable and healthy society in America. We're having a purging and civil unrest taking place right in front of us, along with the homelessness and migrant issue in these sanctuary cities. Public safety is real. St. Louis is down 450 police officers. It is dangerous riding the Metrolink. It's dangerous riding the Chicago L. It's definitely dangerous riding the New York subway. We need more officers. We need more good officers. Defunding the police is not the answer. and tell me what you think about this murder that took place on the Metro bus link in St. Louis.